OK, so according to a letter from the Neighbourhood Watch, there's a peeping Tom in the area. Well, I'm always looking through these binoculars and I've never seen him. Let's check out what number 26 is up to. Oh, Mel Blatt from the All Saints, my neighbour. You really should get some curtains in that bathroom. Imagine if the peeping Tom was watching her right now. Oh, my guests, I hope they don't find it weird that I've got a pair of binoculars around my neck. Ah, Stephen, come in.
Hey,
nice to see you. Thank you for
you?
coming. Great, thank you. Alex, hi.
Hello, baby.
Good evening. All right.
Hey.
Andrew Maxwell here. Thanks for bringing the pizza and the beer. It's very good of you indeed. I don't think you've been round to my flat before, have you? I love this flat. It means a lot to me. You know when you buy a property, the estate agent says the three most important things are location, location, location. I don't agree with that. I think the three most important things are location, location, 100-seat studio audience. Every home should have one. Beer and Pizza Club. Joining me tonight to discuss the issues that matter most to mankind are the comedian Stephen K. Amos.
Thank you.
He's in Blur, he's on the radio, he writes newspaper columns, he makes cheese. Alex James, ladies and gentlemen. And another bloody good stand-up comedian, Andrew Maxwell. Welcome. The pizza is getting cold, the beer is getting warm. Let's begin tonight's Beer and Pizza Club. Here are the rules. 1, as men, we drink beer and eat pizza.
Yeah, OK.
And 2, you each arrive armed with a topic you want answering and the rest of us try our damnedest to provide an answer. Have you got that?
Yes, sir.
Right, let's start. And Stephen K. Amos, what would you like to talk about?
They do say that it's better to give than to receive. So I was wondering, what is the worst present you've ever had?
That's a great bloody question.
Yeah.
What's yours? Eva?
Mine, I can honestly say, one Christmas, I was 25 years old, and a family member actually gave me, wrapped up, a packet of assorted broken biscuits. As a present.
Presumably they weren't broken, though, when they wrapped it up. I mean,
no, they weren't broken. A packet of assorted broken biscuits. I didn't know you could buy these things. I'm not a child, and I do have the ability to chew biscuits.
Who bought them? Which relative? Who bought them?
I can't tell you who it was.
You can.
She'll know who she was, cow.
Aunt?
No, but closer than aunt. If someone gave me a packet of biscuits, that alone would piss me off. The fact that they're assorted and broken.
I think the worst thing is when you get a present off somebody who's trying to sort of ingratiate themselves with you, who you don't really like, but it's something you quite want. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean. Yeah.
And it's a horrible feeling of guilt and
because you don't know what to do then.
Well, you sort of have it, but...
Yeah, but they then expect you to stay in touch, don't they? They want like a friendship out of it.
They're the worst presents.
I had a grand-auntie who collected things in her house all alone. And when I was a little boy, I was really into Star Wars. And I told all my family I wanted a Star Wars figure. There's a whole cornucopia of them. I didn't care which one it was. There's all sorts of them. And she gave me a butter dish. The butter dish wrapped up in newspaper with string. There's a little boy, I was like, Luke Skywalker, da, 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 butter dish! Yeah! Woo! Butter dish.
Because,
What
you know,
10-year-old boy doesn't want to scamper in the woods with a butter dish? Going up to the other lads, hey boys, put down those sticks and guns and stuff. Let's have a picnic. And if you get to that phase and they haven't already battered you, they're like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's have a picnic. And just everybody brings their stuff and we put out a checkered gingham blanket. And we're all sitting side saddled, telling stories, eating stuff. And then somebody opens up the spread and like, boom!
Boom! And if it's in a butter dish, it's spreadable as well. I mean, that's the thing.
Let's get busy with the fizzy.
Do you know what's a real tragedy about that? Is that you got that when you were 10. I'm 34, and I've only just realised that butter dishes are great.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't, you know what, for years, I spent 34 years thinking that butter needed to be in the fridge. As if. You keep it in a butter dish, and then when you make your toast, it's ready to spread. Do you know what else I thought for a long time? I thought you had to keep eggs in the fridge. What? What's that?
Look at this bunch of metrosexuals. Let's talk about pizza. No, butter dishes.
Worse than my wife bought for me to put in our house. It's an elephant reclaimed from an old fairground, and it cries blue tears. And she thought that when kids came round to the house, they would like this elephant and sit on it. I can now hand to me in another part, weirdly, in another part of my own flat, so that we can see the aforementioned elephant. Richard, over to you. Here is the aforementioned elephant, and it's very heavy. It was from a reclamation yard. My wife thinks that children will like it. And there are the eyes crying blue tears. Richard, back to you. Richard, thank you. What do you think of that, Andrew?
Do kids like it?
No, they're horrified by it. It's like something out of a bloody fairground in a Stephen King novel. Of course they don't like it.
True.
And I'm not stuck with the bloody thing. Where am I supposed to put it?
Where you have. When you said an elephant, I thought you meant a proper elephant.
Right, no, I've got to put it there.
That's a bit of wood that's been carved.
No, put it there, in my conservatory.
I'm going to get a drink.
No, well, I need to pick a winner. I think it's the broken biscuits.
That's a pretty shabby gift.
That's a shabby old
shabby,
gift.
isn't it?
The winner of that round, ladies and gentlemen, is Stephen K. Amos. Andrew Maxwell, what's the next topic you'd like to talk about tonight?
What I was going to ask is, now, Alex.
Yeah.
You were once in a band. Very, very famous band. You've never been in a band. You've never been in a band. Neither have I. What I'd like to know is, if you could be in another band, what band would you be in?
OK.
I ask you first.
I picked the Motley Crue.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would have been a lot of fun, wouldn't it? I'm not in there really for the music. I don't really like the music anyway. The only song I know is Girls, Girls, Girls. No one ever puts on a Motley Crue album. But you want to have lived the life of the Motley Crue, Andrew. That's what I think. Let's play a clip of the Motley Crue, and then I'm going to tell you exactly why I wish I had been in the Motley Crue. The music is rubbish, but take Vince Neil, for example, right? Vince
It's dismissed with a sweep.
Take Nicky Six. He once got a girl to ring her mum whilst her phone was inserted in another woman's vagina. That's what Nicky Six... That didn't go down well. They really enjoy.
I think it didn't go down well. It probably, with the age of what we're talking about, it wouldn't have been a small, handy mobile. That's right. I think I'm looking around, I'm seeing some saucy experimental women in the room, but I don't think any woman wants a landline up her.
You're right.
Bring. Hello, the Parsons 452.
And how about Vince Neil? He went to prison for 19 days. You know what happened in prison?
No.
They let groupies into the prison for him to have sex with. That is the experience that I would have had if I had been in the Motley Crue. Even you haven't done that, Alex Jones.
But to be fair...
Don't get me wrong. Modern Life is rubbish, it's brilliant. The riff in Song 2 is fabulous. Your cheese is delicious. But you've never done that.
But you wouldn't have had a good time in Motley Crue, because the best thing about being in a band is actually playing the music. I mean, if you just want to be like a famous Muppet, And, you know, fine, you know, Motley Crue. But, you know, the greatest thing about being in a band is the music. And that's Motley
music.
Crue.
It's about music you're proud of.
Bloody rubbish, that music was.
It was rubbish.
And plus, Richard, if you want to have sex in prison, you can.
Right, let's go to Stephen K. Amos, band.
If I was to be in a band, rather like you, I can't play any instruments, I can't sing, but I would like to have been in an iconic band who were respected when they were together and respected since the lead's passing. So for me, it would have to be Bob Marley and the Wailers.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I'd have to be a wailer. Bob Marley was just huge around the globe, and he wasn't a guy that was manufactured. He stuck to his principles. He was very open about his marijuana use, and his songs are still living testament to how good they were when he wrote them. And to have been part of that scene at that time, you know, would have been amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, you could be in any band, what would it be?
I think, you know, actually, I thought it was Blur, but, you know, if maybe just started being a... If the Spice Girls were going to do another tour, I could be dancing with them. Just for a change.
Okay.
You know, why not?
Why not? Do you actually like any of the Spice Girls' music?
Sure, yeah, they were great songs.
Which
yeah.
ones?
You know, that first album was amazing. It's everything a great pop record should be. I'm not sure if I liked it sort of since the solo. I wouldn't be interested in the solo albums so much. But that you know, Wannabe is one of the all-time great songs.
So either Spice Girls or Blur, but you did actually manage to be in Blur.
Both great bands so far, these two.
Whoa, we turned the show into Nevermind the Buzzcocks. How about that? Permission to speak freely. I got to see you in Hyde Park, right? And that was advertised when you announced you were reforming. That was meant to be your big comeback gig, Hyde Park. So I'm excited. I get these early tickets to Hyde Park. By the time you played Hyde Park, that was like your 8th gig. You did loads before, so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, it was. We didn't foresee the demand. You know,
No.
it was like, oh, we're gonna do it, and.
It was comeback after comeback.
No, it's like...
He feels like you came on his back.
OK, well, what are we going
to... I've overinterpreted.
It was like, you know, we'd never done a gig the size of Hyde Park when we were alive, you know. It's like bands didn't do gigs that size then, you know, and it was a total punt putting it on sale. We didn't know if it was going to sell out or what. It was a punt.
Anyway,
you know, the tickets went on sale at 9 o'clock, sold out by 2 minutes past, and
it's amazing.
I cried.
It was brilliant. Oh, the gig was just terrific as well. Were you? I mean, walking out stage there, were you nervous?
Glastonbury, I was really nervous because I suddenly figured, like, as we were about to go on, that like if we couldn't rock it at Glastonbury, like, because Glastonbury's like an away gig, really. You know, it sells out before the bill's announced. It's not your crowd. We've done it in the past, and like people have been there, yeah, whatever. And it suddenly occurred to me, like, if we can't rock it now, this is the end of Blur. Do you know what I mean? We're never going to do any more gigs. But that was the best gig we've ever done.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah.
Another band I was thinking of mentioning is the All Saints, actually, because Mel Blatt from the All Saints is my neighbour. You can see a flat from the window. Sometimes you see straight into a bathroom, actually.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Just there, no? You see there?
Oh, wow.
Just there.
Oh, yeah.
Mel Blatt from the All Saints, right next door. So sometimes and often she's playing her hit singles at full volume, you know, a few questions that I need to know. And I hear that, and I'm thinking, I'm sometimes reminded, oh, that looks like a fun band, the All Saints. I'm going to throw in my own neighbour's band, the All Saints. Andrew, what's yours? What band would you most like to be in?
Parliament Funkadelic.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Don't make me lube up this shoe and stick it up your ass, bitch. I'm talking about Funkadelic.
We've got to quit.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, great.
Tell me the appeal of being in this band.
George Clinton, without George Clinton, you wouldn't have any hip-hop, right? Particularly West Coast hip-hop. All the West Coast stuff, Dr. Dre, all the stuff he produced, they all ripped off George Clinton. All his riffs are in there. Snoop Dogg even called his stuff G-Funk after P-Funk, Parliament Funkadelic. He's still gigging now. He does a 3-hour show, right? The dude is in his 80s and are all still hitting the crack pipe, right? The youngest member of the band has got to be in their 60s. And the gig goes on for hours, and there's loads of them. There's just people wandering around the stage. He doesn't come out for at least an hour, right? There's a glass of me this year, right? The crowd got impatient with him, right? There's the rest of the band are out there. And eventually, you know, it's going, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for George? After an hour, like, the crowd is like, nah, not really, right? So he just went, all right, that's how you feel about it. We out of here. Got Belgium tomorrow. They left.
Did he?
That's it. Just
Fucking
packed up
good.
and off they went. He did Bestwood a couple of years back. He's eventually come out. He hasn't gone out for an hour. And it's about 2 hours in, and everybody, the funk just non-stop. I love funk. He's physically huge, right? And he's got these shades. And he pulls the shades down, right, to reveal the most bloodshot, like, never slept in 40 years, kind of weeping sores for eyes. And the whole crowd who's like, just loving it. Everybody just stopped and went, right? Genuine, like, oh, right? Just, oh my God. And he just pulled him down and he said the coolest thing anybody's ever said in the world of music. It would be ludicrous to suggest we have not done this before.
It's going to be difficult. We need to pick a winner. Oh, she shuts my door. God, I wonder who that could be, having recently referenced a neighbour. Oh my God, it's Mel Black from the All Saints! Hi, Mel. How are you doing? Oh, nice to see you. Come in, I've got a few people around. Yeah, look. Mel, what have you come round for? What have you come round for?
My puffer fish.
You want your puffer fish back here? Thank you.
You've had it for ages.
I have had it for ages. I said I'd only keep it for a month. Oh, Mel Black, Andrew Maxwell. Andrew Maxwell, Mel Black, my neighbour.
Hiya.
Hello, Mel, the neighbour. How are you?
Yeah.
Alex James, Alex
Hiya.
James.
Hello.
Mwah.
Stephen King Amos.
Hey, how are you?
Mwah. Mwah.
Never ever thought I've ever heard.
Memo, have my seat, have a seat, have a seat. I said I'd keep it for a month, I kept it for 2, I apologise. Have a seat on my chair.
Okay.
The walls are very thin here. Did you hear any of the last rounds as these guys made their arguments about which band they'd like to have been in?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You can pick a winner here, Mel. Who in...
It's Funkadelic.
Funkadelic. Boom.
The winner's Andrew Maxwell! Don't quite know how you hold this properly, but this is
Carefully,
yours.
like that.
Very carefully. Thank you, Mel. That's really nice to see
I
you.
want to say something while I'm
Yeah,
here.
please say it.
We'll be back in a sec for more Beer and Pizza Club.
Coming up after the break.
I proceeded to go to the tube station on all fours. Some bloke tried to give me a hand. I gave him £1, going, get away, homeless man.
Welcome back to the Beer and Pizza Club, where tonight my guests are Stephen K. Amos, Alex James and Andrew Maxwell. So let's move on to the next topic, which I shall propose, which is what is the most ridiculous thing, the stupidest thing that you have done whilst drunk? Andrew Maxwell.
All the stupid stuff that actually harmed me rather than harmed other people. I tried to do a backflip off a wall in jack boots and a cape. And I attempted it 5 times back to back. And I only ever got, like, sort of up to there on the wall and then collapsed down because it involves skill. It's not one of those things. It's not something you can just do with gusto and still come out with pass marks. It's not cunnilingus.
No, it's not. It's not that.
What? You know what I'm talking about, ladies. It's mostly enthusiasm. That's what it is. You're showing how enthusiastic you are about the young lady in question. Or older lady if you're into Panthers. Did you know... Yeah, did you know that? There's one up from...
Cougars?
Cougars, yeah.
Bollocks.
It's called a Panther, yeah. Panther's the next one up.
Where'd you get that from?
There's a whole pecking order.
So what's the age bracket of a cougar and the age bracket of a
Right,
panther?
well, your cougar is 35 to 45, and then 45 to the grave is a... Sure, I'm not... Hey, hand to God, would I lie to you, Tony? That's a panther.
Stephen K. Amos.
I was very drunk. I was going to a party You know, I think that Brits do. We drink in our house before we go to a party.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's not going to be any booze there.
No.
Anyway, my friend... Exactly. What's all that about? And I don't know if anyone's ever done this, where the top half of your body is so heavy that it falls over.
Yeah.
So I was running and I fell over, didn't get up. I proceeded to go to the tube station on all fours. Some bloke tried to give me a hand. I gave him £1, going, "Get away, homeless man." I eventually got to the tube station. I don't know how I got home, but I got to my front door and my key suddenly turned into an elastic band. I went like that, and I've got a green hedge by my front door. I went like that, went backwards, and there I stayed until the morning.
No, that's good.
In fact, till this day, there is an outline of a man in my hedge. Me.
Alex, you have been in Blur. I mean, fucking hell.
So was I that night.
I mean, when you thinking back to the early 90s, signing a record deal is a bit like getting on a transatlantic flight. You know, there's somebody coming around with a trolley of drinks all the time.
Yeah.
The great thing about being drunk is that it sort of gives you the feeling that you're doing stupid things because you're drunk. But I sobered up for a while when I got married and I realised I was just stupid.
Yeah.
I wasn't drunk.
Am I right thinking that you drank a bottle of champagne a day?
3 a day.
3 bottles of champagne a day?
Yeah.
You couldn't do that with rosé, for example.
Oh, no, not rosé. What is rosé? Pick a team. What are you? Are you red wine? Are you white wine? What are you, fruity fruit drink? Pick a team. I don't like any wine that needs to be put over ice before it's acceptable.
I know.
And a rosé hangover is murder,
It is
she wrote. It is brutal.
Alex, come on.
Yeah.
You're a
One
rock god.
anecdote of when
Come on.
something happened when you were really messed
Off your
up.
face, you must have done something.
We didn't get banned from that many places, but I was having a really nice time at the Savoy one evening, and I wanted to play the piano as you know, as a drinking gentleman might do, and they wouldn't open it, and I had it, and they were being very nice, saying, "Please don't do that to piano, Mr. James." They were calling me Mr. James, which is always nice, but I ripped open the lid of the piano and played Blue Moon.
This is the piano.
Oh, that's it!
That's it, there it is.
That's the piano at the Savoy, and I've sort of thought, and I haven't sort of dared show my face there again.
Until you
since.
broke the lock on
It
it.
does annoy me when they lock pianos away from drunken people.
It's unnecessary, isn't it?
Drunken shenanigans, right? We've all been there. It's wonderful. It's a release for us, you know? And I think British and Irish people are, you know, just naturally a bit more rowdy than, you know, you've toured around Europe, like anywhere north of the Alps, they're cheeseheads, they're squareheads. Like, they will literally stop and wait to cross the road when there's nothing about. You mean, what are rules for except to be observed and enjoyed? Like, no crack. That said, the stupidest thing I've ever done, and it genuinely is, I'm a snowboarder as well, and the most dangerous thing you can do in the Alps is get drunk and bin bag. Right?
Okay.
It's where you come down, right, you're almost at the bottom of the mountain, and you go for one last après drink. It can be as little as 200 metres before you actually hit the town. You climb into a bin bag. There's a black sack, and you go down the hill, and it goes faster than Jesus off.
Jesus.
I don't know what that's
200 metres down on quite a steep slope.
Yeah, you're literally rubbish in a bag going down the hill. People break it. Seriously.
How do you stop? Because on the skis...
You can't. It's the natural attrition of the mountain against your bones.
I get the fact you're drunk, though. That, in a way, cushions you against... You don't feel as much pain, do you? So you
don't.
go down...
But then the next day, yes. Or even later, because bone injuries don't take long to remind you.
No,
Like, hey, I was a bone. Now I'm 2 bones. Explain yourself, nervous system.
Mine is I presented a live television show completely drunk. I mean, completely drunk. And I've been out to lunch with television's Tess Daly. And a TV... Right, a little game show with Tess Daly. How about that? Talking about a new TV show, and it's lunchtime, it's Christmas, and I just got really pissed, and I'm drinking loads of red wine, and I'm in such a terrible state. And they're embarrassed by me. It's just a lunch meeting, and they're just embarrassed. Now, what's wrong with him? Has he got some sort of problem? So it's a long lunch. At the end of it, they bundled me into a car, and they said, what are you doing now? You going home to bed? And I said, no, I'm going to present a live television programme. And I think that, he's delusional. He's delusional. Leave him to it. And I go to the studio, and I'm presenting a show that I'm kind of in charge of, because me and a couple of other guys came up with this idea, and it's called Flipside, and it's on a small little channel, And the idea is there's one presenter and 3 guests, and they're looking like I'm drunk now. Look at this.
Are you talking about this evening?
Yeah. I had lunch with Tess today. It's today. But I get there, and they try and stop me going on air. But because I'm the executive producer, I demand to be put on air. So I'm the presenter. I get there 10 minutes after it started. It's live. There's 3 guests, so they have to get one of the other guests to present the first 10 minutes. I get into a terrible state and completely disruptive. At one point, I go to the loo, not in an ad break. I need to pick a winner from that round from those stories. Falling in a hedge. No. Breaking the piano key lock at the Savoy. Bin bagging. Presenting a TV show Drunk. The winner of that round, ladies and gentlemen, is Andrew Maxwell. We're going to go to a break. We'll see you in a bit.
Coming up after the break.
Lord of the fucking Rings. I hate it. 9 hours of utter swill.